Hi everyone, welcome. So welcome to the webinar, the ceremony, the song, the dance, the drum. It's an Embicum program, and for those who haven't been to Embicum before, Embicum is a 50-acre rewilding site in Devon. It's a beautiful valley, and here we run programs that help people connect with themselves, with each other, and with nature. And we inspire and aim to co-create a regenerative and flourishing future for all species. So it's lovely to have you here tonight. And before we go deep into our webinar and everything about the program, I will invite Denise to ground us for a few minutes.
Thank you, Tuba. Nice to be here. So, yeah, let's just inviting that we take a breath. Let it sigh on the out breath. And if it feels comfortable, letting our eyes close. I'm going to keep my eyes open, but if it feels comfortable, you might want to let your eyes close. And just coming into presence with your breath, with the contact of your body, with whatever you're sitting on, with the contact of your body with the air. Just landing into this moment, and I'm going to play in a little bit of mbira. This is a traditional instrument from Zimbabwe that is traditionally played to connect us with the spirits of our ancestors. Just welcoming the medicine of the mbira and the intelligence of the mbira. And through the weave of this music, welcoming all of those who guide and hold and support us. Letting the sound of the mbira wash through our bodies like water. Bring us into our hearts. Support us to find the breath. To land here. Part of a woven web. Letting the sound weave its magic. As we enter into this little sacred moment together to talk about ceremony, the song, the dance, the drum. Calling on all of those who understand the power and the potency and the relevance and the richness of ceremony. And calling in all that is alive within you that is resonant with that power, with that potency, with that richness. Giving thanks that we get together in this way, giving thanks for our lives. Taking a breath, letting it sigh. And when you're ready, letting your eyes softly open.
Thank you so much for that, Denise. I personally feel quite relaxed right now. But let's come back to the webinar and find out more about this amazing course that you all put together. So tonight we will talk a bit about we will hear from each facilitator about who they are and what they offer, and then we will find out more about the program itself and what ceremony means actually. We ran this program for the first time last year, and it was a great success. And we have two of our participants from last year here to share some of their experiences with you. And at the end, we will have time for some Q&A, so any questions that you might have. And then we will end with a song from Betan, which I can't wait. By the way, I just want to say that we are recording this call, and then we're going to share it with those people who are not here, and perhaps put it on YouTube as well. If you don't want to be seen or heard, please keep your cameras off. But you can put your questions and comments on the chat and we pick up on it. So with that, I am going to actually start with our one of our participants from last year, Philippa. We thought it would be nice to start with that fresh share from you, how your experience was last year, what you would like to tell about this program.
Hey, Tuba. Thank you for inviting me along. So the ceremony for me was a wonderful transformational experience. I'd say if somebody was thinking of coming onto this program, prepare to be surprised, prepare to be gently stretched, prepare to enjoy yourself, prepare to dive deeply into whatever is present for you and work through that process over the course of the week. You do it in a wonderful community, which very quickly comes together and becomes cohesive. The reason for that is that Embakum and the facilitators hold this process so beautifully. The feeling of being able to give one's trust over, to feel safely held, to feel lovingly and compassionately held in developing ceremony for our land, something that we haven't had for a very long time, I might say, in this way, is really, really deeply nourishing. And I would heartily recommend anybody who's wavering on the edge to maybe leave their doubt to one side and say, yes, I'll give this a try. And if it weren't for the fact that I'm going to be in Scotland this May, I would have come straight back. But I think I'm going to have to leave it a year and hopefully come back in 25.
Thank you so much, Philippa. It will be great to have you back. Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to invite our amazing facilitators to introduce themselves and talk about their offering. So shall we start with you, Bethan?
Yes. Hello, I'm Bethan and I work with voice and song, and I feel very honoured to be doing this work. Singing is something I've loved doing my whole life, as I grew up in Wales and it's a big part of the culture. And it's just such a beautiful thing to invite people into that state of trance that voice can bring you into. And my job as a facilitator is to get people out of their minds and out of this, oh, I can't sing, I'm not a singer idea, and to drop into their bodies and to get into that state of trance. And in that state of trance, not only experience their own unique voice, but to experience group mind, so that we are all in a state where we are receiving a song together at the same time. And voice is such an important part of ceremony. It's such an important part of the container. And we can individually be a vessel for what needs to come through, but also as a group we can. And in that, there is so much power for expressing grief, for collective prayer, for whatever comes. And the beautiful thing about this offering, the ceremony, is it really is a co-created space. So we do not know what the vision for that particular ceremony will be, as we didn't last year, and it will be completely fresh this year. And it's just lovely to have voice be a part of that, and dance be a part of that, and drum be a part of that. These ancient tools that we would have been using for just the entirety of our human existence that we've only just forgotten for a small fraction of time. So it's really lovely to be a part of this, bringing it back to life, and listening very specifically to this land and what this land wants us to do, and the unique ceremonies that we can create here together.
Thank you, Bethan. Now I will move on to Matt.
Hi everyone, I'm Matt. I've been playing drums and percussion about 30 years, and in the last decade or so I've been doing that in ceremony. So the thing about the drum is maybe similar to dance and voice. Actually, it's the easiest tool that I've ever seen for getting into flow state. And flow state is is where the brain just switches off, and like time, it acts in a different way, and it's really desirable, and it's such a addictive and magical place to be. And the thing with the drum is where you can get into flow state as an individual, but then you can do it in a group. What's the word? Ecstasis, something like that. It's like flow state that is shared by a group of people, and it's easy, man. Anyone can do it. You don't have to be skilled to get into flow state on the drum. And when you apply that magic to ceremony, and to a will and an intention of honoring the land and honoring whatever is alive for people, there's nothing like it. It's pure magic, and I can't wait.
Thank you, Matt. And we move on to Denise now.
Hi. Hi everyone. Yeah, my name is Denise Rowe, and I work almost completely with the body, through the body in movement, the body in movement in response to what's happening in the internal landscape of the body, in response to relating with the land and the beings of the land, and in response to music and rhythm and song and voice, and in response to what's happening in the collective. And I've been working in this way with the body for maybe 25 years, and ceremonially probably for about 20 of those years. And for me, this way of working, a bit like Bethan spoke with the voice, it's like it's returning to remembering something that's alive within us. It's the unique magic of each body being, and its authentic expression, and it's returning to valuing that and opening that and being willing to explore that and be generous with that and be honest with that, in a way that is responsive and in a way that is participatory. And so, yeah, for me, and what I'm bringing and what I'm holding as part of this experience is all about the language of the body, the viscera of the body, the intelligence of the body, the stories of the body, the beauty of the body, the grief of the body, all that is available to be expressed through the body in movement, in response, and in collaboration with the voice and with the drum and with the land and with the unseen realm and with the mystery that is moving through it all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you, for sharing what you shared. It's already like bringing lots of excitement to me. I just want to also mention that Mac, who is not here tonight, but Mac McCartney, the founder of Embercombe, for those who don't know, he invited you to co-create this ceremony program. And Mac trained with Indigenous people for many, many years. And he was told by his teachers, Mac, these are not your songs. These are not your ceremonies. These are not your dances. You need to go and find your own ceremonies, your dances, your own songs. And so, that's what we are doing as well. We are connecting with this land and then finding our own ceremonies. So with that, I actually want to come back to you, Denise, and I want to ask you, what does ceremony mean actually? And why did you think it will be important, or do you think that it is important to bring this kind of work to the world at this time on this planet?
Just a little question. The thing for me about ceremony is like, through one lens, all of life is ceremony, like all of life is sacred. And what I experience in terms of ceremonies, it's like it's very difficult to put it into words. It's like as soon as I say anything about ceremony will say, yeah, I'm that, but I'm not quite that. And so I feel like I got to do that caveat at the beginning. Like, I don't think it's possible to word it. And so the words, the things that come as I feel into what is ceremony, it's like, yeah, remembering. It's like returning to a remembering that all of life is sacred and all of life is animate and all of life is responsive. And the part that we're playing as part of that is important. And we can choose what we're doing in there. So if like sometimes I feel it like if you think of all that is alive like a big pool of water. And when we come into ceremony, we're acknowledging that every movement we make ripples into the water. And so let's choose the movements that we want to make. So we through the dance of the body, through the voice and the song, through the drum and all the other ways that it's possible to work ceremonially, we're choosing our actions in that water. We're understanding and remembering that we are woven as part of the web of all beings, and that most of it is mystery, and everything we do impacts into it. And so it's like coming into clarity for me. But it's kind of ironic because it's coming into clarity that it's a mystery. And so it's also coming into a kind of deep, humble place of bowing. Being in ceremony also, it feels like constantly bowing, like offering, like putting our hearts out and going, this is what feels really real to us, or this is what feels like really matters, or this is what we really care about, or if we could choose how it would be, this is what we would choose. And in ceremony we work a lot with prayer or intention, as has been spoken already. And sometimes I've heard people sometimes like ask a question whether prayers will be answered. And for me, I feel the question is more whether answers will be prayed. Like there are realities that are willing to come into being, and they call for our participation in that willingness. They call for our will and our alignment and our yes and our presence and our here we are, and all that's been spoken by Bethan and by Matt of that state of being in that flow and the no mind and the coming into the harvesting what wants to come through us in that moment. And it's like it's a collaboration. It's a collaboration with mystery that is mysterious and will never be explained. But it feels really important as part of our health. It feels really important as part of the health of the whole of the planet and the beings of the planet. And there's so many beings of the planet, and some of them get really overlooked as though they're insignificant. And I feel when we come into ceremony, we like honor the place of all of the beings. But it also feels important in terms of, our empowerment and this kind of remembering that actually our actions have an impact. And so why don't we choose ones that feel really resonant for us, and the empowerment of coming from a place where we're coming from the heart and we're coming from the spirit and we're following something that feels good and feels right and we're offering it for benefit. It feels really important. Maybe that, I don't know how we're doing on time. Maybe I'll pause there.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. You already answered that question, but I also want to extend the question to maybe Matt to you, like, what will participants will get out of this program? And please do chip in, Bethan and Denise, after Matt speak.
Yeah, you know, it's like you will go on a little journey of learning, and you'll come away a better drummer, you know, maybe a better singer with more knowledge of your own body and how to use those particular tools to make a physical auditory prayer. You know, there's an element of the unknown about this ceremony. The fact that it's co-created, and at the start of the week you won't know what's going to happen, and then you'll step into the unknown with a group of other people, and then you'll come away with a sense of confidence and teamwork that will come just because we're doing this together. We don't know. You will be guided safely. You're going to be safe. It's going to be, we know exactly what's going to happen, and you'll be guided along, but we don't know what that ceremony is going to be at the end of the week. And it's going to be you, the participant, that builds it. And you'll come away with an understanding of how ceremony is just on the other side. It's always available. Anything can be a ceremony. So you're going to come away with a sense of how easy ceremony, how accessible it is. That sort of stuff.
Thank you. That's great. Anything from Bethan or Denise?
I mean, the word that's with me is empowerment. Like, I feel that it's empowerment. This is like a decolonization of the mind and a decolonization of the heart and the spirit and the body. It's like bringing many aspects of yourself that maybe sometimes they're awake and sometimes they're not, or maybe they're just a bit sleepy, or I don't know, maybe it's like bringing yourself all together and waking up all these aspects of yourself and getting like yourself. It's like the process of the ceremony, as Matt has said, is to create the ceremony as a co-created process between all of us together, but it's also gives you like inside of yourself a co-created process. Like, it enriches the community inside of yourself and gives empowerment of, oh, there's this of me and there's this of me, and sometimes I feel this, and what happens if I follow that? If I follow that and other people join me, and wow, look at what we can do, look at what we can do, look at how passionate we are, look at how alive we are. You're going to feel alive. You're going to feel alive. That's what I would say. That's what I would add.
I feel that energy inside me already. By the way, I also attended this course last year, and because I couldn't help myself. And it was so powerful to, you know, during the week, obviously, it was just like, wow, this is an amazing experience. And after the program as well, I was like, something was like behind me. Like, I realized something was following me. I'm like, what is going on here? And I realized that was my remembering. I was constantly remembering and noticing the things maybe that I didn't normally pay attention to. It was very profound. Anyway, with that, now I need to remember my next question. So let's look at the shape of the week a little bit. I mean, the course starts on a Wednesday, and then we end on a Sunday. So it would be nice to have an insight of the, you know, a bit of the content we already shared, but like the shape of the week. Maybe Bethan, if you don't mind speaking to that.
Yeah, I can speak to that. So yeah, the whole week is this process of unraveling and unfolding and surrendering and letting go, and in that, the building coming from that. There's the dissolving and the letting go. There's the entering into the void, and then there's the creating the beauty and the ceremony from that space, from that co-created group mind space. And we we do this by everybody who comes on the course will try song, they will try drum, and they will try dance. We will all do that together. And then at a certain point, we move off and we kind of find our way into a group that we feel drawn to. Through a magical process that I will keep a secret, that you will find as a surprise when you come. But yeah, and then we go off and we each, me, Denise and Matt, spent time intimately with a little group that we then kind of really went deep into those different practices together. And throughout this whole process of the week, we are coming together as a group, and we're feeling into what's dropping into our inbox. What are the words that are coming? What are the things that we're feeling that this ceremony needs to be about? And we're just sharing it, and we're just letting that unfold, and we're just feeling into that. And then we're going back into our groups. And at the end, we come together and we create this ceremony, all three groups together, in this what was a very, very powerful, magical explosion of beauty. And I imagine it will be the same again, for sure.
Amazing, thank you. It is a ceremony within the ceremony, isn't it? Okay, with that, now I like to invite Kim, who was again on the last program, and he is kindly here with us tonight. So Kim, my question will be, you know, anything that you want to speak about the program, but maybe around also, what did you get out of this program? And what would you say to those people who are considering joining, but maybe have a bit of a hesitation or a question mark?
Okay, well, thank you. It's great to be here. And just listening to this makes me want to just dive back in straight away. It's still so living in me, kind of what we went through and as a group and kind of everybody. So that was just really beautiful. And I guess what I'd say is just like, how often do you get a chance to go to an incredible place where you're beautifully held, you're wonderfully fed, and you just get 4 days to like deep dive into ceremony with a wonderful group of people, and just like, those opportunities don't come up in life. If you're in a position now where you have a chance to take this time out of your life and do something for yourself, it's like, oh my God, take it. It's just wonderful. And I think the process, was beautiful. The place is beautiful. And I guess that kind of some of the things that I take with me was just the power of pre-ceremony, because it's called the ceremony. It's all about the ceremony, and you're kind of like, okay, the ceremony is going to happen. But actually the big shifts, a lot of the stuff that happened for myself, for others that I witnessed, really happened in that process as we sort of wove the magic that ultimately became the ceremony. And I thought it was really collaborative. It really felt like everybody brought things and they were woven in really beautifully. So it kind of, so I'd say, like, don't feel shy about coming. Wherever I was weak, somebody else was strong. And that kind of there were just some lovely moments. There were moments where I'm like, oh God, I can't do this. And then someone else just comes in and utterly nails it. And it's like, yes. And so we kind of lift each other up, and the weave between the dance, the song, the drum was just so beautiful as well. I guess, and what have I taken forward? I guess it was really interesting to spend time kind of looking at ceremony on a real nuts and bolts sort of level. And kind of as we kind of literally kind of brought together this group that didn't know each other, and kind of all these different skills and different skill levels. And it was wonderful to kind of see that coming together, and that I've taken that with me, and now I'm applying ceremony a lot more into my work as an arts activist. I'm bringing ceremonies now. I'm working with Sacred Earth activism, and we're producing kind of different, we're basically building shrines and kind of producing ceremonies and things kind of as activism, which has been beautiful to see. And I know pretty short on time, but I'd say, like, what would I say to anybody coming? Bring nice warm clothing and bring good all-weather clothing, because it's like nature there is just too beautiful to miss or to feel cold during. and bring your swimming trunks because the lake is gorgeous and night swimming. Oh, so thank you. It was an absolutely wonderful experience. So thank you to you all.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much, Kim. I love that you're taking the, have taken the ceremony to activism and married them. It's really, really inspiring. Well, thank you so much all. Before we move on to questions, if there's any, I'd like to mention a few practicalities. So the event is up and running on our website. Please go and check it out, and you will see how to sign up for the program. You will notice that we have two different payment options. One of them is regular ticket, and I trust that most of you will choose that's the standard ticket. And then we have the supporter ticket, which helps us to provide places for bursary applications. So if you're able to afford that, that will be really appreciated. And if you need to apply for a bursary, please go and sign, just fill out the form, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. I also want to mention quickly about our interest-free payment plan. It just takes you to pay the deposit and fill in a form so that we can divide the payment into, whatever months that you need before the end of the program or the beginning of the program, something like that. But just email us at support@mbcom.org and we can help you with any inquiries. With that, I'm going to check if there is any questions you can put in the chat or just unmute yourself and then ask. Gonna see any questions. Okay, maybe as I said, you can always email it to us, and if it is a question to the facilitators, we can always communicate to them as well. Well, with this, I guess we are at the end of our webinar, and we're gonna end with a song, as I said at the beginning, from Bethan, and then we will say goodbye afterwards.
Yes, I'd love to share a song with you. This is a song of mine I wrote, which is about the deep remembering that happens when we spend time in nature and spend time in communion with the ancestors and when we spend time in ceremony. It's called In O'r Dorf. Tyroi dwylo dail anadl yr enau Llwsg fynydd yn llo sgi y llais Tyra gwyddialdeb dwys yn tynnu o'r moment Mae'r neidr yn poeri yn symud trwy'r coed. Ac yn seler cofion, mae cofion cyn dadau, yn rhannu gwirionedd, yn rhannu gorfoledd, yn rhannu mewn llwybr ymhellio dan do. Un o'r enaid, ag enaid y do.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Look forward to seeing you on the program, hopefully. Good night.